good evening, good morning, praying folks. It's yet folks in Mallory, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming you live on YouTube. Well, folks, it's Sunday. Where I live, Sunday is dead earth. There's nothing to do unless you go to church. I'm just from the South. That's how
Wait a
we
minute,
work
it's
around.
leg day. I mean, it's Sunday, but it's also leg
Well,
day.
it's leg day for you. For here in North Carolina, it's nothing to do. If you don't go to church, there's nothing for you to do. There's no football, no U.S. basketball like that. It's dead up on Sunday here in my small town. So, folks, So, folks, we have here a lovely lady. She is an NPC bikini competitor, and she done something really got a lot of attention, especially for women in sport of bodybuilding. She was at an event, part of a group of other competitive bodybuilders and also other powerlifters at Lollapalooza. Lollapalooza has been one of the big concerts that's been around. It's like the modern day, it's a new millennium Woodstock. And she was there performing with a lady who I interviewed a while back, the lovely Miss Jerissa Upton. And and there's got a lot of attention. Even Rolling Stone was talking about it. I mean, that's like Rolling Stone was the biggest magazines in music around. So we have here the lovely Miss Victoria Burmester, and we would talk to her, having to share her story, how she got into bodybuilding, her plans, her experience at Lollapalooza, and her future plans for her next competition. So welcome, ma'am. Thank you for coming and joining us. And this is a question I ask you, all you ladies. What got you started in sport, as I call it, muscle and masculinity? Please share.
Okay, so what got me started? Well, so I'm not originally from Chicago. I moved here from Ohio many years ago. It's been over 15 years at this point. And I came here determined to be a city girl. And the real reason was for law school. I'm an attorney. Um, and during the course of my law school career, my mom passed away, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever been through in my life.
I can feel that.
Um, it was a lot of dark times. It was just I had so much anxiety and depression and everything like that. Um, I was trying to sort of make my way through school and everything like that, and I ended up injuring myself at the gym, not while I was training, but I broke my foot and I had a cast up to my knee, and I realized that I gained a bunch of weight. It's one of those things where you are pulling on your clothes and you're these clothes don't fit right. I don't feel cute right now. What's going on? And I finally got on the scale, and nobody told me I got fat. I'm way heavier than I used to be. So I was at home. I was trying to create a game plan for how am I going to lose weight? How did I let myself get so far? And I saw this video about this woman called Ernestine Shepherd. She was touted as one of the oldest female bodybuilders at the time, oldest female competitive bodybuilder at the time. I don't think she competes anymore, but she's almost 90, and she is gorgeous. She's muscular, beautiful, just sickening. And I was like, wait a minute, if this woman who's in her 80s at the time can do this, I can do this. I'm going to come for her gig. That will be me. So I kind of went on this fitness journey starting from there, and I tried everything in the world. I just kind of dabbled in a lot of things, like CrossFit. I did calisthenics. I did yoga. I started biking, stuff like that. And bodybuilding was always in the back of my mind, but I never really knew where to start or what to do or anything like that. So I eventually got Erin Stern's book. I'm sure you're familiar with her. She was one of the former Miss Olympia. Really awesome. She went from figure to bikini. And I was kind of training to do my first show and didn't know what I was doing. And I ended up breaking my tailbone at the gym. Again, not training. I fell off a yoga ball and just snapped it. It was it was one of those situations where you hurt yourself and you're this is I was trying to laugh and make it funny, but I was I feel really hurt right now. So then I get back on the yoga ball, I think I'm okay. And then I did it again and it was just snap. It was horrible. So I break my tailbone. I can't train for this show that I did. I'm so glad that it ended up working out that way because I would have looked terrible because I was training myself. And then my tailbone heals. The pandemic happens and they close all the gyms. So I was this is really not meant to happen. But as soon as everything opened up again, I was let me find a show, let me find a coach, and let me do this the right way. And that's what I did. I ended up getting my coach, starting to train, not giving myself enough time to prep for my first show, but that's sort of how the journey started for me. And I've been competing ever since. I qualified for nationals. I did I think 4 shows my first year. I just kind of hit the ground running and realized that I loved it more than I ever thought that I would. So that's
Yeah.
kind of how I started.
Well, that's it's a story. And the thing is, I can understand how you feel about my mother passed away. It's been 4 years since she passed away. That was because she was sick. I was taking care of her for a good while. She used to take care of me. I was taking care of her. And when she passed away,
Yeah.
I had this little hole in my life. I don't have no kids. I don't have no woman. I got me. And I can
Yeah.
understand, losing that person like that. My mother was. I like this. I was like an old cowboy. My mom was my woman. And it's never really the
Yeah.
same. I have brothers and sisters. I love them, niece and nephew. I love them, but it's not the same when you lose your mother.
For
And
sure. And I
yeah,
was here all alone, like in the city. And I moved here all by myself. And I used to call my mom and talk to her like multiple times a day. And she was just like, just a really bright light. So when that bright light goes away, you really feel it. So I'm so sorry to hear that. Um, but yeah, my mom got diagnosed with cancer on September 11th, like 2001. So she had been, struggling with it the whole time. She didn't even tell us that she got diagnosed with breast cancer. She's like, the world was suffering. I didn't want to tell everybody. That's like the kind
uh,
of woman my mom was. So it was rough for sure. And I didn't think I was going to make it through all of that. And it's crazy to sit here with you and think about all of the things that have happened since. So
yeah. I can tell you, my mother, she got C-19. She got the virus. She was already sick. She had within 4 years, she had like 4 or 5 seizures. She had a stroke. She was bedridden. She had to deal with early stages dementia. And then when she got the virus, it was. She lived for like maybe 2 weeks when she got it, and then it was just. And I was doing this content at the time, because it helped me dealing with all her stuff. Like, everybody else
sure.
was, my sisters were going, like, there was like, we came, there was like, I have, where I had 7 brothers, it's like I have 3 sisters, 4 brothers. 2 of my brothers are gone. One of my sisters is gone. And there's only my 2 older sisters left, my younger brother, and I got nieces and nephews. And, we were all close. We all lived together for a good while. We scattered around now. We're not as close as we used to be. Well, my oldest sister, she lives like a good mile down the road. My nephew stayed with me sometimes, but it's hard when we have that one person. Like when my brother died, my older brother died 20 years ago. He was like the focus point of my family.
Yeah.
But then, when my mother passed, that kind of just changed it a bit because she was the mother. We have here some comments. This is from a man, KL the Wanderer. KL, he says, uh,
Hi.
"What's happening?" Yeah, nothing much. Brother, he's talking. He says, "Happy leg day."
Thank you. I'm
Ooh.
like mentally preparing because like leg day is always like a mental battle, right? I mean, it's a physical battle too, but I'm like, what am I going to do today? How am I am I going to make it? Am I going to live to tell the tale? So I really appreciate that.
Most bodybuilders, it's leg day. It's like you remember the episode of the Chappelle Show when Charlie Murphy meets Rick James, and
Yes,
Rick
of
goes back
course.
to Eddie's house, and he says, "F your couch, Eddie Murphy, F your couch," and then Rick and Charlie and Eddie are beating his legs. That's leg day for a bodybuilder. You go like, what?
Exactly.
Yeah, what was the legs, Eddie Murphy? I can't walk. You need your money. That's how
But what
leg
does it say
day.
about me that I'm doing it to myself though? It's
Well, you're a masochist. That's why. That's what you love that. So here this is from my man KL. He said, "Ooh," he says, "She looks like she does modeling." So
Oh, thank
yeah,
you. I really appreciate that, especially because like when I first started, I'm also very tall. I'm 6'1". So when I first started, people were like, you're just supposed to be a model. Like you have a model body. And I was like, but I'm a bodybuilder, like just so you know. So like I think they were like, I don't know what to expect from this girl, but then they saw me continue to progress and get a little bit bigger and add more size because it takes a lot of muscle to fill a frame this long. So I appreciate that. I love modeling, and I love all those things. So thanks for the kind words.
yeah, that's good because a lot of ladies in the sport do modeling. 6'1". Excuse my language, is from the movie Deuce Bigler. That's what you bitch. But you're
Well,
not.
in my posing skills, I'm 6'5", like on stage.
Mhm.
So like when this, like I remember one of the stage ushers saw me. He's like, "That girl's tall AF," and I'm like, like pointing at me. I'm like, I know. Like in my height category starts at 5'7", so like I'm just like towering over the other girls. It's like it looks crazy.
You're probably the second tallest woman I had on here. I had a woman, she's 6'2". I had one who's you're 6'1". I had one who's like 6 feet, and I think a couple like 5'10", 5'11". But generally, like I said, especially bikini in that division, the girls are a lot like about five. I think tallest maybe is
Yeah.
5'7", and then usually it's like about 5'3", 5'4", because it's you have that the small petite girls. It's being that you're a taller woman. I know they have like different height classes and weight classes in bikini division.
Right. So they do have different height classes. So that's what I was saying is like mine starts at 5'7". So I'm going against girls that are like 5 inches shorter than me. And I think when people meet me in person, they're like, wow, you're a lot bigger than I realized that you are. Like, because in comparison on stage, it almost makes me look slight when I'm posing just because I'm so much longer than everybody else. But it's like, no, I'm not small at all. I actually have a lot of muscle on my body. So
Yeah.
it's just like a proportion thing. And
Mhm.
it's something that I have to play with. Like, we tried like different heights of heel and stuff like that just to make me look fuller and bigger on stage. Because those girls that are like, the ones that are like 5'3", they're like little bulldogs. They have so much muscle on that like compact little body, and it looks so cute. I love it. They look so dense, but I feel like when somebody taller packs on that muscle, it's very attention grabbing because it's like, whoa, I never see somebody that tall with all that muscle on them. So it's awesome. I love being tall.
Yeah, yeah. I think I know like there was a woman back they called Nicole Bass. Nicole Bass was a professional female bodybuilder. She was 6'2". She was huge. She after a while she left bodybuilding and she got into wrestling and even did stand up before she passed. Here we got a comment from a man. He says, "Can you dunk a basketball since you're 6'1"?"
I think I'm asked this like more, especially because like the WNBA has become so popular now, like with Caitlin Clark and everything like that. I am the worst basketball player of all time. Like, don't put me on the team. I'm horrible. I can't dunk. I can't jump. I can't. No, I can just wear the jersey and make it look like I could play.
Yeah. So you're just tall for no damn reason. That's all it is. That's all
No,
you say.
no, just to help
Yeah.
old ladies at the grocery store. That's all it's
But
for.
but you like I said, you are an attorney. So what kind of law is it? Is it like corporate, criminal law?
I
Okay, you know.
No, I don't practice any of that. I do it's a lot of like contract work that I do, preparing stuff for discovery. I don't go into court or anything like that anymore. I had opened my own family law firm when COVID happened, but I ended up having to close it just because like just downtown was so crazy. Like, I had an office on Michigan Avenue and everything like that, and I just ended up closing it and like just continuing to work from home. And it's really the only way that I can do bodybuilding and continue practicing. But yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That I think one thing when the pandemic hit, it really changed everything. A lot of people, like a lot of coaches, are doing their work from home. A lot of people do work from home here.
Yeah.
Me, I don't work anymore, so I don't have to worry about doing work from home. So but yeah, it's tough. And you wasn't too athletic. Like I said, you got the CrossFit and then bodybuilding. Was there any other
I mean,
sports
I
you
was
went to?
always an athlete. I just don't like to play sports with balls involved. Like, I was just people always laugh about that, but I was a swimmer. I used to compete at yoga, which people didn't know that they have yoga competitions. They do. Um, I just, volleyball I don't do, basketball I don't do. I'm horrible. I
I'm
can't
about to
see
ask
very
about I'm about to ask about the volleyball thing, but that's thanks to you for letting me know
well.
that. Yeah, I played football when I was in high school. I played a little baseball when I was younger. I'm built sturdy. I'm built like, I remember one time when my teachers were like, I was like standing in front of the door. My teacher put it back and said, "George, damn, you feel like, you, like, hey, yeah,
See,
just
you're
how."
like the opposite of me though. Because yeah, I can tell you were like, built like a brick house. I have a very small frame for how tall I am, which I think is a good thing for me because like if you have really small joints in a small frame and you put a lot of muscle on them, it just proportionally makes for a better look, I think.
Well, most of mine
But
is
I'm
from
not
big.
one of those sturdy tall girls.
Yeah, most of mine is a bit from fat, but at one point I was like almost 500 pounds because I was, taking my mother wasn't eating as good. But then I'm
Okay.
down to like under 400. It took some time to do that because when she was gone, I said, you know what, I got to take care of myself. And it's hard, especially as to the diet part of losing weight and
Oh
being
yeah,
consistent. That's the tough part,
that's
especially
the whole
for.
part. I mean, it's just beyond training or anything like that. You have to have your diet in check. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, this is from KL. He says, he says, "Damn, you injured yourself on a yoga ball. That's rough."
Worst
Also,
injury I've ever had.
Also, he said this. He says, um, I wasn't that good in basketball, but I tried, and it's cool. But
Same.
yeah, so yeah. Anyway, we're gonna do this. We have here, Jerissa. Oh, sorry, sorry, Victoria here. I'm sorry, I've got yourself my head. Sorry, and we're going to do this for a little bit. We're going to jump into social media some and look at some pictures and videos. You want to follow her? You want to follow her? Her link is in the description. There's a live stream. You want to check her out and support her as a competitor in her plans as a bikini competitor, as a bodybuilder, as I would say like that. But guys, I want to tell you this, and this is something I tell this, Victoria, I do this verbatim as a warning, guys. No the pics. Stop it. She has a husband. I don't think he like. What's your husband's name?
Peter Diego.
Yeah, Peter may not like that. I seen the picture of the guy. He's a bodybuilder too, and I don't think
Yes,
he would
he's a
like that.
sexual bodybuilder, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he wants somebody saying something like, "Who said shit to my wife?" You like, hey, 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 hey.
And you know what? I'm very loyal too. I mean, I appreciate all of your dick pics, but I don't want them.
Hey, guys, be like, hey, guys, yeah, she got like a tall drink of water. Maybe sit or something. So we're gonna jump into social media for a bit, and we're gonna take say. And so the thing that really was that she was at an event here. This is and it was an artist by the name. What's the name was this? Chappelle. How name?
It's Chapel Roan.
Chaperone. I would think it's Steve Chappelle, and it was her. It's Jerissa right here on her right here. That's you right there. And
Yep.
what was that? You was at Lollapalooza. What was that experience like? How'd y'all get together with her?
So her team came by my gym. I go to Quad's gym in Chicago, and they were just looking for bodybuilders. They didn't tell us what for or what we would be doing or anything like that. But they came and they asked, if they had somebody that fit the description, and they thought of me immediately. um, and that was really it. Like I didn't know that much. I just got a text from the owner of my gym, and I was like, sure, I'll do it. That sounds fun. Um, and I had never been to Lollapalooza before. I know it's a huge music festival and everything like that. So I was like, oh, this will be my chance to, finally go. I've been living here for over 15 years. And I had no idea how big the crowd was going to be. But my first indication that Chapel Roan was a huge star was showing up to rehearsal. It was, let me think, it was a Wednesday at 4:45. I walk down and I see pink cowboy hats down the street at the Vic Theater. And I was like, wait a minute, she's not supposed to play this venue until like 9 or 10 at night. And these kids are lined up down the block already. What's going on? So I go in and I like that's what they were doing. They were waiting all day for her. And once we started rehearsing and everything like that, they're like, just so you know, it's going to be 100,000 people there. And I was like, I go home and to your point earlier, I asked my husband, I was like, are you okay with 100,000 people seeing my ass in a thong on stage?
Well,
Right?
what's
You
the
know what's so
best?
funny? This picture right here it makes me laugh because it was taken by my friend from high school that I have not seen since high school, and he does media for Entertainment Weekly and People, I believe. And he sends me a text like that night or the day after, and he was like, "I got some crazy shots of you at this show. I cannot believe that I saw you on stage." Oh my gosh, those pictures right there. This me waking up. This is the day before my first national show. That was in 2022, so I look much crazier than I do in those pictures. But it was kind of like the beginning of my journey. Those are all unedited. Like these are just me in the wild. And I was
Yeah.
proud. I was so proud of my muscle growth and everything like that. But I'm like, I was so tiny and I'm so much bigger now. And I was 37 years old. No, I just turned 38 years old in those. Um, but what was I going to say? But so my husband, after I told him, 100,000 people are going to see my ass in this bikini, he was like, just do you. He's like, all right. He's definitely, he's um, a very secure and confident man.
Well, like I
So,
say,
we're best friends, and he is clearly shorter than me.
yes, I mean that's one thing is usually you rarely see like a man that short be with a woman that tall, but it's about the
Yeah.
same opposite attract. Y'all both love each other, y'all care for each other, and
Yeah, I honestly I love that he's shorter than me. It's like and like he loves that I'm tall. Like he's never like, "Oh, will you wear those flats?" He's like, "No, put that heel on. That's hot to me." So, I'm in my heels. I am 6'5". He is 5'4". So I'm a foot taller than him.
so it's like be kind of like what next thing you should do for Chris you do for Halloween. He dresses Wolverine, you dress as Storm.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a
Halloween's
good
my
one.
birthday. So
Oh
we
wow,
dress up every year. And we're dressing up this year too. So
yeah.
it's gonna be I always have 1,000 ideas. I at least dress up once.
What do you enjoy yourself at the Lollapalooza? Because here you are with Jarissa Phoenix. Y'all look amazing. I mean, as a most supposed smoke, we just love y'all pumped women. Y'all excite us.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can tell you all about it. So I was a little bit nervous when I realized how many people were going to be there. It's I think it's the biggest turnout at Lollapalooza of all time. So, when I was interviewed before, they were like, what does it feel like to be part of this like very historic moment? And people are going to see these photos for like, many, many years from now. And yeah, so I was nervous going in because I was like, am I ready? Like, do I look okay? Or people are going to be like, oh, this girl doesn't look great on stage or something like that. And then I was like, wait a minute, I've been putting in the work for years now. And, I just competed. I've been following, my plans super closely and stuff like that. And I was like on my way to the venue to like with my bikini in my bag. And I ran into this girl and her mom, and they had flown in from Oregon, and they were so excited about the show just to see me, just to be in proximity of me. They were so excited. That's me getting the call from Rolling Stone to do the interview. I was on a walk with my husband, just like taking a break from everything because I didn't know how this was gonna like blow up so much. So he took that video, but once I ran into them and I saw how excited they were to just be around me, I was like, I'm not scared anymore. Like, I'm not nervous. Like, I just need to make this a good show. I can bring, sexy in a bikini. That's what I do, in my free time. So I was excited at that point. And it wasn't until I got backstage and we were waiting to go on and I was looking out into that sea of people and I was like, whoa. Because I was looking as far as my eye could see. Oh, my wedding day. Oh, love those pictures. Um, I have never seen so many people. I was looking as far as the eye could see, and I could not see the end of the crowd. It was like, like the energy was just like electric. It was just like coming at you, and I was like, yes, let me out there. And so, a little like behind the scenes tea is that they told us to just like walk out casually, stretch like you're going to start training. I usually stretch after just so I'm warm, but I was like, okay, we'll go out and stretch and then just start training and pretend the crowd's not there. And it's very hard to ignore 100,000 people, right? But I still went out there and did my best. I like stretched, and then I was like, oh, this will be cute. Like I'm in my bikini, I'm gonna go down and do like a full pigeon. Like I'll lower myself down, so then everyone can see like the muscularity in my delts and in my back and everything like that. And they showed it. They showed it in the footage. I'll have to send you some clips from it. And so I'm like doing like a half split in like my bikini. Like the crowd is like, what is happening here? And then I get up and then we start training or whatever. And I was like right behind where she was. And they were just living for it. They were loving it. Um, and one of the questions I've been asked the most, I think, is were those dumbbells heavy? Because they look so heavy. I can't believe they had you guys training all that time. They would have blown away if I wasn't holding on to it. Like they were so light.
They're fake.
And I was like trying to like make it super. I was like, oh God, this is so heavy. Like pretending. And I think it worked, but yeah, it was not heavy.
Well, it's good that you enjoyed yourself. You had this recognition because, like I said, Rolling Stone is one of the biggest magazines around, especially for music. Being at
Yeah.
Lollapalooza, I think post the pandemic, it probably was the biggest a lot of Palooza had a long time because a lot of places there was a lot of concerts and stuff like that going on. And
It was the biggest set of all time that they've ever had, ever. Like
mm,
since Lollapalooza started, it was the biggest turnout ever.
yeah,
And for a girl that wasn't a headliner too. So she's blown up tremendously over the past few weeks. And it was crazy to be a part of it. And especially because I don't consider bodybuilding to be mainstream in the United States. I think it's much bigger in other countries. So I really felt honored to be a part of this, like merge into the mainstream. And especially, with the, female artist, her whole band is women, being up there, three other very strong women, it just felt very powerful to me to be a part of something like that. And yeah, I'll never forget it.
yeah. Because what we're saying, that I've been following body for a long time. It's really been more mainstream here. It really has really been more popular here in the States because there's more competition here, more opportunities. It's kind of grown up in a few years. I know I'm talking ladies from as far as Australia, South Africa. A lot of European countries are jumping onto it the last few years. It's
They've
like
been, it's been popular for a long time. Like Indian countries in the Middle East, it's very
yeah,
popular.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Well, back in the day, I remember when I was coming up, you used to watch it on television. You can catch it on ABC, you can catch it on ESPN, you can catch it on Fox Sports, but it's not on television. You can actually, this is a funny thing. I remember a friend of mine sent me this video. It was like these guys pillow fighting. That's going to be on ESPN instead of bodybuilding. It's crazy. You can watch cornhole, you can watch darts, poker, but bodybuilding don't get on television.
Right.
I just watched the show, which the Texas Pro. It was yesterday, and I support because it had women's physique. I don't care too much about the guys because, like I said, I gotta say it may not be the '80s, but I'm down with the ladies. So
I know, I love the girls too. Like it's always been because I love the like girly stuff, like the bikinis and the boobs and the hair and the everything. So it's always been women first and then the guys. But some of my friends have like been competing and stuff like that. And as I get to know more and more people, I'm like, yay! And I get excited for the guys, but the girls are where it's at for me.
yeah. This is from a comment from man KL. He says, for a bikini competitor, you are a bit buff, flexing, and that's the thing is, the division has evolved over the years because I remember, and this is no offense, yeah, yeah, this is no offense to your division. I'm going to say this because I'm going to say it again, my crime is a must personal smoke. I'm not a really big fan of bikini. Or I felt like it wasn't really like if you look at the other divisions, like I said, like women's bodybuilding and the others, they was like women's bodybuilding started everything because you had women's bodybuilding, you had fitness, you had figure, then here comes physique, and here comes bikini was more like brought in, but it has grown with the division. If you look at the girls
Yeah,
now,
each class gets bigger over time. Like it, and if you see some of those girls in person, they're very heavily muscled. And I will say, like, I'm pretty heavily muscled for a bikini competitor, but I'm tall, so I don't look that big in comparison on stage. And so, like, for me to have as much muscle as I do, and you see me on stage, and you're like, wait a minute, like, she looks so long and like lean and stuff like that. I do have a lot of muscle, but I'm reaching a point in bikini. To your point, like, I can't train arms anymore because my arms are so big. I can't train quads anymore. Like, there's just certain movements I can't train triceps anymore. I can do glutes and I can do shoulders. That's about it at this point because I'm going to outsize the class.
yeah, because
So
yeah, or have you considered going up to figure? You still wearing high heels?
yeah, I mean, I've thought about it, and people suggest it to me a lot, or they think that I do figure. I'm like, I would have to put on at least 30 pounds of muscle to do figure. Like, it would be a huge leap for me. Like, even I need to grow a little bit for bikini, which is like the smallest thing. So I would never say never with it, but probably not. I love the like bikini posing and everything like that. Um, but it's just like, do I want to make that big of a jump? Because those girls are huge.
Yeah, I just saw this young lady. She's from Canada. She just did some shows here. She did a couple shows in Canada, did a show in Tampa, and she
Mhm.
announced right after because she's already qualified for the Olympia. I'll send her a link. You can check her out. That she's
Yeah.
going to switch to physique after the Olympia when she doesn't figure because you know you look at you like you ever follow who you follow in the sport that's in the IFBB.
Oh my God, so many of the girls. You mean in bikini? Wait,
Well,
wait, sorry, tell me who the girl that you're talking about.
her
What's
name
her name?
is Manon DeLilly. I think how to spell it. It's Delute. She's French Canadian, and her name
Uh-huh.
is Manon. But she just did the Tampa Bay about a couple weeks ago. She got a pro card. No, she actually got her Olympic qualification in Vancouver last month, and she's been a pro for about a couple of years. And like I
Hmm.
said, that's why I said I seen the link. You can check her out and see how
Well, when
why
you were talking about figure, I was thinking like who I would have to go against, and I was thinking I don't know why she popped in my head immediately. It was Cobra Princess. Do you know who
Oh,
she is? She
Christina
is
McGregor.
so jacked. She is huge, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to go against her.
Well,
she is. She looks nuts.
I think one person I think you should be really afraid of is Jessica Reyes Padillas, who just she
That's
just did.
my husband's coach also coaches her.
Oh, oh,
She, yeah, he's with Andrew Vu.
oh,
Um,
wow.
she looks crazy. We were looking at pictures of her yesterday. She's just so feminine, so jacked. Just her waist is still so tiny. She looks great. She's really really beautiful.
Yeah, because you know what? She's just behind Cindy Gillen. I think Cindy Gillen's a stand-up for the division. You know, if you look at
Yeah,
her, yeah, because you know,
and you know
if,
what's so crazy to me about her is that. Sorry to interrupt you.
go ahead.
She like in her training outfits, she just like you would never even know. She, when she's training in the gym, but as soon as she pops that off, it's like lights out.
Yeah, because you know she's very very conservative white she don't dress in like anything very revealing because she's very well she's I would say she's like this she's a lady that's how she is. Here we got
I
yeah
mean, I think
this
I'm a lady, but I like to wear a little like hoochie top at the gym. I have to be able to see myself and move. I need. This is probably the most I will wear.
Yeah. Well, everybody has their own style. Here we got a comment here from man KL. He says, "What cool? Oh, that's cool. She recruited you all for a concert performance, and what hit song
Okay, what's her
she?
hit song?
Yeah,
Her main, I think so. She's got a lot of hits, honestly, because after rehearsal, like I was like, I don't know who this girl is very well. I'm old. I feel old.
you're not
Uh,
old, you know.
I mean, I'm gonna be 40 in like a month, in 2 months.
I'm
So,
I'm going to be 50. I'm going to be 50 in another 3.
hey,
Yes.
I respect and appreciate that. But people always think that I'm much younger than I am. I'm like, I am a fully grown woman, FYI. But her song that everybody loves, it has like 11 million views or something like that. It's Hot to Go. It's kind of like this catchy tune, and it has like a dance that goes with it. Pink Pony Club. We didn't go out for Pink Pony Club. We were supposed to, but we did Hot to Go. We did Phenomenon. We did Super Ultra Modern Girl, I think, and there's one more. Naked in Manhattan was the one that we did. So we did 3 songs, and then we came back out for the finale where we were actually allowed to like pierce the fourth wall and interact with the crowd and stuff like that. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Matt KL says like this. He says, "Was you nervous because it was a lot of people?"
well, that's what I was trying to explain before. Is like I was nervous, like just thinking about what that crowd is like, because at our shows, at the NPC shows, there's not that many people there. It's if it's a full house, it's maybe like 1,000 people, maybe. Usually a little bit less than that. So I was nervous, but when I saw that crowd and I was in my bikini and my red lipstick, I was like, it is game on. I'm ready. I'm ready for this. I'm so down. And I'm like, what we're doing is in our wheelhouse. And we were actually allowed to interact with each other. So I told Jerissa and Phoenix, I was like, okay, so for the first song, I was like, we'll go out where we're stretched, we'll like be training and stuff like that. That was like, then I want you girls to like come and you can be like spotting me. Like we'll pretend like you're pushing me through like a really tough set. So I lay down. I'll have to send you like a video of it. So I'm laying down and Phoenix has my arms and I'm like pushing like this. It's like the hardest set of my life. And Dress is like cheering me on. And I'm just like in my bikini, like laid out like behind this girl that the crowd is screaming. And at the end of the set, I just like throw the dumbbells down, which is not something I would ever do in real life because I hate when people do that. Um, and then I was like, oh, we'll walk each other through like our posing because it's like, I'm bikini, like wellness, physique and stuff like that. So there we got some dope shots of us just like in the background, like posing. And I was nervous because I was like, am I going to show as conditioned as I am on stage? But you can see like my shoulder striations. You can see like my legs are like shredded on that stage. And I didn't even peak for it because it's not like they're bringing bodybuilding to the mainstream. So they don't want like somebody that's peeled beyond all recognition. Like they want still like a sexy look on stage. And I think I brought the like best of both worlds. So those are the things that I was nervous for, and it seemed like the crowd really lived for it. So it seems like it worked out well.
Well, like my other guy would say, sometimes those things that make you stranger makes you stronger.
Agree.
You just
Agree.
have to just roll with the punches, sometimes you just got to take it,
Always.
and just do the best you can with the situation.
And
And
not get knocked out.
yes. Stop that. Why I gotta take care of him. I need to see my specialist. Also, this is for a man. KL says, how many competitions have you done so far? Now, you say you did Universe a while back?
Yeah, I did Universe last year. That was the first time I've done it. I got I'm trying to think. I've done 6 shows in total. So I've been competing for a little over 2.5 years, which is a lot for for that, short of a bodybuilding career. I've done 2 local shows and 4 national shows, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing about is these competitions, it's tough, especially because I know last year, I know a lady who's a friend of mine. She was
Mhm.
at the universe just early, or was it? I think about a month or so ago. She said it was like 600 bikini girls for that universe,
I
and
don't. I think it was close, like a little bit less than that. But it's a very deep show. There's so many. You can't like compare somebody being like, oh yeah, I got fifth locally to getting fifth at Universe. It is deep. Everybody looks sickening. Everybody's bringing their best. It's and you're competing against girls that all of them look amazing. So I don't know. I just respect all the girls that do those show like do a show like Universe because it's just one of the biggest.
Mhm. This is coming from man KL. He says, what's your favorite workout when you're in the gym? So, what's your favorite workout and your least favorite workout? That workout that, yeah, I have to do that workout. I said, damn it, why I gotta do it today?
Honestly, I really like training. Like I like to train hard. I like to train heavy. Um, what don't I like? What is my favorite? I like training legs now. I used to hate it. Um, it's hard for me on a lot of machines because my legs are so long. And I think that I get frustrated sometimes because my quads are super, super developed, like they're really big. Um, to the point where like I'm not really allowed to train them anymore. And I really like leg pressing and I really like we have at quads we have like every piece of equipment you can imagine. So I really like doing a true squat. Um, I really like quad extensions and I'm not allowed to do them. So I like leg day because it takes me to a place where I'm like I need to say the safe word today. um, but I really like training biceps and I'm not allowed to do that anymore either. So I really just like a good hammer curl or something or like laterals I really love. I really, really love back training as well. That's one of the most developed parts of my physique. It was one of the parts of my physique that was the most developed when I started. So I think those are my favorite movements. But I like everything, to be honest. I'm just like, and I like learning new things. I like just pushing myself to like a scary place.
Well,
But my least favorite, I will say my least favorite is hip thrusts. I hate it. I find them boring. I just feel like my biomechanics don't really lend themselves to doing hip thrusts. I would rather do any other movement.
yeah, like I said, like I said, something that size I can't do much like I used to. Like I got 2 bad knees, like Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm getting older now. I got a little tear here, tear there. But yeah, it's when you find that one workout that makes you feel good, that gets you going. Leg day, you're a mutant. You're one of the few mutants who I've known that say they love leg day because no one likes leg day. No one likes it.
I just love challenges.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So now, are there any plans to compete this year, or are you just still working on a few things?
I don't think that I will be on a NPC stage again this year. If I did, it would probably be in the winter time. Um, but more likely it's going to be 2025. I just like I need to like double the size of my glutes. And I just want that to be like my passion project. I want them to be like, are no more ass. Like I want them to be like, you should do wellness, even though I would get destroyed in in wellness because I'm so tall. That's the one thing I could never cross over into because I'm just too tall for it. But I want my glute size to be like undeniable. So I'm one of those girls that just wants to compete to feel like, a pretty pony on stage. I've always promised, like, I'm going to bring a new shape every single time. And I've brought a wildly new shape every single time. And I think I'm going to take my time to do that. And I want to blow my last physique away because I just am like, I've just come through on it too many times not to.
Yeah, it's a process of bettering yourself. This is one thing I say about this. People say
Yeah.
trust the process, but no, you have to understand the process before you fully trust it. Because you don't trust something blindly and just get
Yeah.
into it. You have to really understand what you're doing, where you're going, at how you're developing. And this thing, a lot of people who are outside looking at bodybuilding, with your division, it's more, as you say, aesthetically pleasing. It's more because you still have a bit of femininity. But then, even though you have just too much muscle, they're like, she's too muscular. Why is she trying to be so manly? Yeah, 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 yeah. But you're an athlete and you work out and you train. You have to build your body to a certain level. You want that good glute tie-ins. You want those good, you don't want too much gyrations in your glutes because that's one thing they want in bikini or even in like physique or even in figure. I think with wellness they can't let that go because it's kind of an awkward division where you've seen girls who's coming from bikini going up, you've seen girls coming from physique and figure going to division. I got a friend on there. Her name is Jada. She she was a physique pro for a good while. She switched over to women's bodybuilding. Then she switched back to physique, and now she's going to make her pro physique debut or pro wellness debut in a few months. And working with the right aesthetics, because like I said, you're taller. You have to figure out what works for you. Now, who's your coach? Who are you working with?
I recently got a new coach. I was working with, previously, I was working with Courtney Starr from Team Elite Physique from the beginning of my career until a little bit earlier this year. She is a great coach. I've recently switched she's a bikini pro, Marissa Wu. She is such a cute little, like, she's just such a powerhouse. She's so smart. And she specifically, one of the reasons why I ended up going with her is because she specializes in building glutes without building the rest of the leg. And because that's an issue that she had personally with her physique, and she has a degree in kinesiology. And so what we're doing now is kind of fine tuning my training. So I'm just like building my glutes up as big as I can, and also building my shoulders without building my arms, which is like because it makes my shoulders look much smaller than they are because my shoulders are actually pretty developed, but my biceps are so big that it makes them look a little bit smaller. So, but what I was going to say is to your point, like I don't really have any of the negative feedback and mean comments and stuff like that because I was wondering when this stuff came out in these news articles and as we got more attention and as fans are like responding to these performances and stuff like that. I was like, or people are going to be like, oh yeah, she looks like a dude or something like because I have muscles, but I'm very feminine looking. I'm a very girly girl, and people have been nothing but kind to me. They're like, "How do how do you look like this? What is your training like? All of the like, what are you eating, and all of the things like that." And again, to your point, it's so much hard work. We are actual athletes, and I do appreciate your time, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to take this time to speak with you, is because some people just think of us as like being a set of boobs and muscles like with a head attached to them, but there is so much more that goes into this. It's a lot of hard work, it's brutal work, and it's it goes all year round. Like I was training on my birthday, your birthday, and Christmas, so like and whether you're bikini or not, I think that some people view bikini competitors as like not training hard or like we train differently or something like that. That depends on the girl. There are some girls that don't work hard and don't train super hard and are just genetically really, really lucky. But I'm like, in my off season, I'm like pressing like 800 pounds. I'm not playing around. So it's whenever I hear kind words about the work that we do, it's something that means a lot to me, and it's something that I really appreciate.
Well, this is why I have this platform to, because give you mostly, as I said again, most of my focus is on women in bodybuilding because they don't get the recognition. It's like one thing people got to remember: being a woman in this sport is very tough because one thing you have to work and train. You're not like same as the men. They have a different level. You have a different level. You bikini competitors have different levels. Physique competitors have different levels. The women's bodybuilding have different levels. Everybody has different levels, and everybody has to train with their own
Mhm.
style. I have my prejudice in the past. I know that because I admit it, but I have talked to ladies in such as women. Good part of my content was women with bodybuilding. I talked to women in bikini division, even some pros. Talked to ladies in fitness. Some pro level fitness competitors. I've talked to, I got a couple ladies who do wellness. Like I said, I want to get my hands on some pros. I'm just waiting. I just, give them some time when I get to them. But I understand it's more. I have conversation with you ladies. I understand more and more. And here, the outside people like this. Everybody thinks that all you gotta do be a bodybuilder, take steroids, take pages, da 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 da. No, that's steroids is like it's only a small factor to it. It's mostly for recovery. Everything's about your consistency, your diet, when you're working out, your training, work body parts on this day and that day. Stay hydrated because on the stage, you competitors you have to compete for maybe about a whole year for baby be on stage for 2 minutes at the most, and
Okay,
you're
we get
tired.
30 seconds, and they're usually like make it 15 seconds.
Yeah,
So yeah, but to your point, like I compete in the NPC because I'm like, you bring your best, I'll bring my best, and we'll see what happens. Okay. So I don't care what anybody does. I don't care what it's, and the judges don't care. They don't care every moment that happened before you step on that stage. They care about the product that walks out there. They don't care about any of that stuff. They don't care if people are mean to you. They don't care if you feel mistreated. They don't care if you were mistreated. It's all about what you're presenting to those judges in that moment on that day. So it is hard, and it's hard to go out there and be judged. It's hard to go out there and bring your best into something that you put your whole heart into every single day. And um, I would say though, at the end of the day, it's all worth it, and it all makes me so happy, like every piece of it.
yeah.
So
Yeah, that's good. You should enjoy what you do. Here's one thing I say like this. I think there should be more opportunities for you women, especially. As you know, I say this, I keep saying this to reference to this. The men's division, it's mostly guys in banana hammocks and board shorts. You ladies, it costs more for you ladies to compete compared to the men. You got to get your hair done,
oh
your makeup done, your suits right there alone, And also
yeah,
everything else that encompasses sport, like your coach and all this. And people need to understand that sponsorship does help. So are you sponsored by anybody or everything's on your
I'm
shoulders?
not sponsored by anybody. Hold on, there's someone walking through my interview. Okay. Um, I'm not sponsored by anybody right now. I feel like that usually comes when you're a pro. Um, and it's hard to know who you can like trust when it comes to stuff like that. I like for my bikinis and stuff like that, I do them myself. So I will like order the bikini and have it made, and then I'll do all the stonework myself. Which for me, like, because people are always like, "You do it yourself, don't you get stressed about that?" And I'm like, "No, it actually adds to my like confidence on stage because I'm like, I did this myself, I put this together myself." So the bikini that I'm wearing on stage with Chapel, I did myself. Um, what was I talking about? Sorry, that guy walking through just kind of threw me off.
Bikini.
Um, Oh yeah. But that's just one of the expenses. It's like just like even like for traveling for the shows, if once you like reach a certain level, like I can't compete locally anymore, so you got to fly out. There's your Airbnb. There's your flight. You're getting all your food to the yeah exactly. So it's all these hidden fees and costs and stuff like that. But it's just like unless you're a like top level athlete. It's not like you're, competing all expenses paid. And if you're doing this for the money, you're probably doing it for the wrong reason. You're probably going to be disappointed at the end
Yeah,
of the day.
because this is a poor man's sport, you might well say it. Because unless you, like I
Yeah.
said again, if you're the top level competitors, like IP level guys, like guys like Heidi Chopin, Derek Lungford, or unless you're like who's the biggest bikini competitor? I don't really follow bikini like that. If you, who's like
There's
who?
like Ashley Kaltwasser, like the biggest. a biggest of the big.
Yeah.
Um, but someday, hopefully, someone will be like. But I always in my posts, I always like make a joke because I like when I'm doing cardio, wear like Hanes sweatpants, like like to me, like what I'm wearing is like the least. I mean, I love to look cute at the gym. A lot of the stuff that I wear, and I make myself, or I find myself somewhere and make it cool. But I also will wear just like Hanes sweatpants, and I'm like, put in code Victoria for 0% off because I don't have a hookup from them for you. Like, just go to Walmart like I did and get, get these
I see because
sweatpants.
you got your old shirt right there. Yeah, you see right there.
This shirt, oh my God, my husband had these made as a surprise for me. Let me see. As a
Uh,
surprise for me. So this is me at the gym training. And like people at my gym have them. People ask about them all the time. They're like, I want one of those shirts with Victoria on it. And I was like, I had no idea about these. And then everyone just showed up with them on. And like, when I'm competing, when I do a show, like people will wear them and all this stuff. So I think maybe we'll do another edition because somebody else like asked about them. Like, who is that? And but
yeah,
it's me.
yes,
Yeah.
the guy said, "Who's that tall drink of water? Can I have on my shirt? I might want to. I think I'll sleep with this shirt on tonight. So
Exactly.
yeah. But yeah,
The closest you'll get to getting a feel of her.
it's good that you support your husband. Like your mom's passed. So any other family members you have beside her, or
Oh yeah, I have three sisters, like you, no brothers. So it's just a big clan of like powerful women. My sisters don't compete at all, but they came and my dad came. They've come to a couple of my shows with like big signs. And it's so funny. I was cracking up the other day because my dad has me as a background on his phone. And it's just like me in a bikini and people are like, "Who is that girl? Like is this your girlfriend?" And I'm cracking. He's like, "That's my daughter." No. But he's so proud of me. He's very supportive. Like, I think he's used to me doing crazy things. Like years before bodybuilding, I did. Have you ever heard of Cupid's Undie Race? It's this. It's this charity race to benefit the Children's Tumor Foundation, and so you raise money and then you run in your underwear outside. So me, there are pictures of this on my Instagram. I wore like a white. It's just like a white pair of like underwear from Victoria's Secret, like the most sparkly bra you've ever seen in your whole life, angel wings, a white fur trapper hat, and I went out ran in these light up sneakers in the middle of winter. I think it was like negative 15 or 20 degrees to benefit the people were like, "What are you like? What is going on?" And I was all by myself. This is during COVID. So I'm like running, to benefit this charity and to bring awareness to this, to the Children's Tumor Foundation. People are asking to take pictures of me. So I think that my family is just like, yeah, this seems like something she would do. We know that she's going to be in a bikini. We know that she's going to be half naked, and like, we love her. We love her anyway. She works hard. We're very supportive. So,
well,
and then my husband's super supportive too because he lives it. He knows, like, you know.
right there, we say running out there because I'm from the South. We barely get anything under maybe 40 degrees at the most in winter. Sometimes there be times when it gets around Christmas, we can wear shorts because it get warm. And doing that charity, I'm excuse my language, fuck them kids. I'm gonna be cold. Hey yo, hey yo, nah, man. But yeah, it's good that your dad because I don't know. This is my. I used to one of my jobs. I used to work in gentleman's club, and I don't know.
uh,
A daddy's job would keep his girl out of a bikini and high heels. But it's good that he supports you, he loves you. I don't know, maybe some days I don't know, and your husband and your father, hey, look at that tall drink of water. You're like, hey, that's my daughter, that's my wife. We going to fight,
right, right. And
you,
it depends on like it's because it's like, is it respectful? Is it not? I think that like if we're towing a line right with bikini, like I think it's really ridiculous sometimes when women are like, we're not shouldn't be seen as being like sexy at all. It's like we're presenting sexiness. We're presenting like our bodies and femininity. I don't think it's as sexual as some people are like will make it seem. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm on stage there to be like a little bit of eye candy. I'm like it's a little bit flirtatious. It's still for me. I think my stage persona is a little bit girl next door, but like she could be naughty, but she's using her power for good, kind of thing. So I think that if you see the stories behind the women there, you're like, there is work behind this. It's not just overly sexy for the sake of it. And like, what's underneath, what's in this person's heart, you know? But I also love the girls that are just there to like be hot. Like, I'm cool with that too.
It's like this. It's like, one of your favorites, Mike Tyson says, he just like to fight. He doesn't care about, he just enjoys fighting. You enjoy what you do. That's the thing, you guys enjoy this. And yes, there is, as a fact, is men will sexualize, especially us guys. We find, especially, you could be wearing a pair of blue blockers and a mini
Yeah.
skirt. We don't care, and especially as guys who are, and this is my crime. I am a muscle person, but I admit that quite often. And there's an old smoke saying, when you ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard. That's something else. But we doing this, I gotta respect what you do, because you gotta think about it. Not only you're trying to present a certain look, but let's say this again. You're on the stage, you're dehydrated, your nicks are starving. You are presenting this. You try to look like you're smiling. If it's like my other guy says, we got that stage, you have to put a smile on that face. But then it's tough, and people who can't do it don't comment. I mean, one back I made this video. I do this thing called comparisons, and one lady, she saw it and said, it was about her. She said, I like how you compared us, but you didn't over sexualize it. You talked about us. You talked about bodies. You were more very technical, but you did talk about track related. But yeah, because we try to walk that fine line to recognize that you are still a woman, but you're also an athlete. We have respect both your athleticism, but also we admire your beauty too. So we have here from a man, KL. He says this. He says, cool shirt, and also he says, yeah, I'm fine. Me a tall glass of water like her. Yeah.
Well, there's like the tall bikini girls like me, they're rare, but when you find them, it's like seeing a unicorn in the wild. So I love the tall girls. Like, I know a lot of them. I don't know if they're single or not. They might be, to be honest. I know a couple single ones. So, but I'm
Well,
not one of
yeah,
them.
yeah. She's married. But man, he's in New York, so he might, he does content on bodybuilding. He was at a show, the OCP show, and you talk about making your own suit. I know a lady who interviewed a while back. She's an OPC, NPC bikini competitor. She made her own suit too. Her name is Jane Flashman. She's called herself the Queen of the South. She's from Georgia, and yeah,
Uh-huh.
you have to be determined. You have to love this sport. You have to be consistent. That's one thing people forget about. You have to be consistent when you get into
Yeah.
this thing.
Yeah. And it like the more I meet people that do this, it takes a certain kind of person to participate in a sport like this because, I might be biased about it, but there's no off season. There's no true off season. So you're constantly working in the off season. Like, I'm getting my meals in, like, off season or not. I'm doing my cardio. I'm doing all of those things. And also the type of person it attracts, like, it's doctors. I'm a lawyer. My husband has a master's degree, and like, these are smart people. And I think sometimes like people will meet me and I like see my personality and like, I'm wearing like a neon pink sports bra or whatever. Like, you can see my abs, but I'm like, I'm not a cocktail waitress. I actually have a brain. And it's always funny to me, like the impressions that people get from you. Um, Sometimes some people think that you're dumb. Some people assume that you're like, I'm not just saying particularly me, but they'll assume that you have a lot of money just because like I have muscles. They're like, oh, you must be a rich person, or like, just it just runs the gamut of things. But it's like you have to get to know each person to know what their personality is like, what they're going to bring. There are some girls that have crazy bodies and want to wear a huge t-shirt and cover everything. And same for the men. Like, it's, some of the guys want to wear like huge hoodies and stuff like that and really cover up and not show their muscles in public. I think as a result of getting negative attention usually. Um, but everybody's different.
Yeah, because your husband, he's a short dude. He has all these muscles, and you're a tall lady. And you have this nice physique. It's just everybody's different mold, different build. I mean, and also genetics is also a factor to bodybuilding.
Hmm.
Some people have to work harder because they may not have the genetics to
Yeah.
develop and to grow. And that's the thing, is you have to be able to work hard, and there's a lot of sacrifice going to make. I know there's times where you have friends says, "Hey, Victoria, go out and do this. You want to come with us?" Say, "Nah, we gotta. Me and Peter, we gotta go to rest. We gotta get ready. We gotta get up in the morning, do our workouts. We did also your diet, like my man, KL, like that says, what's your diet and prep like? So like when you both competitive bodybuilders in the same house, what's that like?
So, you know what? It's funny to me because I get asked that a lot. They're like, "Oh my God, you guys are both in prep," because like I was saying, we got married, then we moved, then like to the place we live now. Then it was my show, and then it was his show. So it was just like bam, 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 all of these huge life events. And I'm pretty chill in prep, and so is he because we do it all year round. Like whether we're traveling, whether no matter what is going on with work or anything, like we are always getting our meals in and stuff like that. So it really wasn't that different for us. Um, at home, like we kind of cook our own meals just because like we know how we like stuff. We're set in our ways. We just kind of do that stuff. I mean, we'll share certain things, but our plans aren't always the same. He is generally eating much more than I am, but there have been times where I'm eating much more than he is. Um, my diet on prep, um, it just depends on the week. Like for peak week, we usually do like a depletion phase where I'm just like have no carbs and everything like that. And then we finally add the carbs back in. But it really just depends for me on how I'm looking, like how many carbs I get and all of those things. The lowest my food got this prep was, I think, around 700 calories, which is not very much, especially for somebody my height. But, I didn't go into this thinking like I'm going to be eating a lot of food at all times. You know that you're going to be starving at some point in time, but I wouldn't say that we have moments in our relationship where we're like really fighting, and I really really value that. Um, just because like when we're in the hotel and I was, he's freshly tanned and stuff like that. And I'm like, I know the energy in a lot of these hotel rooms is like fighting, short tempered, like snapping, hangry, and it's not like that for us. It's just like very supportive energy. And I think if I was dating somebody or married to somebody that didn't also compete, and he's been in the game for over 20 years now. He's been doing it for like 23 years. So he's not new at this. So, we can rely on each other and be there for each other and all of those things. What else? I think they asked about my training as well going into the show. I was on the most cardio I've ever had to do in my entire competition career, which was 2 hours of stairs every day. And I think it was very excessive for me, um, to a certain degree. And I'm a workhorse in prep. Like I will do what is asked of me. I'm a good dog. I just want to check off the boxes and stuff like that. So it was not much food, a ton of cardio, and my husband's um, my husband's prep was a little bit different. He was eating probably a little bit more than he had ever eaten, and I think he was on like 25 minutes of cardio or something like that. And he was having regular like refeed meals during his prep. So, you have to be able to like see the person that you love eating and be okay with it. Because we've both been in the position where, we're going out to eat and you're allowed to eat and I'm not, and I'm just gonna watch you, and I have to look at you and and know like it doesn't make me mad like watching him eat. I'm like, I feel like I'm eating. Like, let me smell it.
Can I smell your breath? Say what's that? Say
Right. Like, give me a kiss now. I it's been so there have been so many times where I've watched him eat. And I think the thing that pisses me off, because I don't want it to seem like we never fight because we get along really well. We do. We're truly best friends and I love him so much. But, bodybuilders usually have to push food a little bit harder than bikini girls do, right? Like to grow and to build muscle and stuff like that. He will sit there and complain. I will never forget. I was in my peak week. And he was like, yeah, he's like, I have to eat so much food. I'm going to barf in the middle of the night. And then like, I'm like, I'm sure that's really tough and all. Like, I know like pushing food is not always fun, but if you're, you need to read the room right here. And I have no sympathy for you, like having to stuff your face while I'm starving, eating 700 calories. I can't. Like, you're gonna have to talk to somebody that can relate to that problem.
Yeah. Like you like says, take that shit to your mama. I don't want to hear that.
Right.
Yeah. I know I've talked to ladies who have one thing, some ladies I know have families, like not just the husband, have kids and
Oh yeah.
responsibilities, and it's just you and Peter, and and that's good that y'all have that good relationship together, that you support each other. Because, like I said, this sport you do need that support. If you don't, if your family and friends don't support you, as long as you have each other, that's good. And that's a good thing that your mom, sorry, but your sisters and your dad and him, and they stand
Yeah, and his
behind you.
family's great too. Like I remember we FaceTimed his dad and he had a shirt on of me while just casually around the house. Like and oh, and they saw the Rolling Stone article and like all this stuff and and they're just like I think they're just like, okay, we're getting used to this now too.
Well, it's a good thing because you know what? This is what I, as a content maker, especially on bodybuilding, I posted on my IG. I was so proud of Jarissa because she was been a guest on my live stream. We interviewed. We were still in good contact for a good bit. We started getting we went too for a good while because I know she's focused on her career. So we get back up again and we were talking. Hope I might have her back on here. But yeah, I really I'm starting to understand as a person who follow you ladies and do this content that you love what you do, and it's good that you get an opportunity to get recognition. Like I remember, like most times you hear stories about bodybuilders, like just a while back, a young lady who was just got a pro card, a wellness competitor, died in a plane crash, come to here to do a
Oh my
photo
gosh,
with.
I saw that.
Yeah, yeah. Then there was like a few years ago, there was like a bunch of deaths back to back, like Sean Roden, Cedric Miller. I mean, John Meadows. Just like a roller
I love
coaster
John
of people
Meadows.
dying. And that's the attention bodybuilding gets. But I can tell you this: I do content in MMA and mixed martial arts and boxing. I do that, and there's more boxers that die in the ring than compared to bodybuilders. But it's so easy
Yeah.
because it's so easy to pick up bodybuilding because it's a stream sport. It's not considered a mainstream sport. You just saw that they had the Olympics, they had breakdance. You saw the Australian chick. Oh my god.
Oh, I felt bad for you. You know what? She can dance better than me, so I can't even talk shit about her.
I,
Like,
I
but it
I
was.
I know some ladies who are if some ladies who I've come friendly with who are Australian competitors. They see me and say, George, I said we can never go back to the Olympics again, George. We can never say what. I'm sorry, but I think this. It's easy to point fingers at bodybuilding because it's a stream sport, but if you look at the mainstream sport, there's just much more use of steroids and pads and everything else compared to bodybuilding. And it also it gets like I said, a healthy lifestyle to it. Because like I said, you said you're about 40. I would look at you, I'm thinking you like maybe 20 something. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I like talk about the lady. If you're a bodybuilder, she's about in her 90s now, but when she was competing, she looked like she maybe her 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? If you're passionate about the sport and you're willing to put the time and the work in, but like I said, the great Ronnie Coleman says like everybody want to be a bodybuilder and don't want to lift this heavy ass weight.
Say it again for the people in third call out.
Everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but nobody want to lift that heavy ass weight.
It's true. It's true. And there's people that want to like shortcut, and it shows. It shows. Like they will push very very hard, and it looks like you have been rode hard and put away wet. It's and I'm not trying to even be rude or shady or anything like that. It's just like take your time, put in the work, because it takes work to get to where we're trying to go, and there's nothing that you can like. There's no fast way to do it. You just have to lift a heavy ass weight, and I appreciate all of those words because there are so many times where I've met a woman who is my age or older. Like there are women in their like 50s. I think they had like 60 plus at Universe, and the girls looked sickening. And they had kids, multiple kids, and things like that. And I think that's something that the outside world doesn't recognize because I remember I went one day to give blood. It was something that my mom did, and I just like if I can give some of my blood and give back to the world, great. So I will go and do that. And I remember the woman who was taking my blood was like, "Oh my god!" Like, because I have so many veins in my arms. She was like, "Oh, you got perfect veins for donating blood or whatever." And then she was like, "Why does your body look like this?" And she asked if I had kids, and she was like, "Oh, that's why." And I was like,
That's an excuse.
how about I watch your baby and you do what I've done? Because it's so much more. And like I don't know how these women that have multiple kids are doing this. I really don't, and it gets so much respect from me. But it's hard work for all of us. childless or not.
Yeah. Well,
And yeah,
yeah. Well, this is one I remember. I saw it was somebody. It was a quote. It was something I saw. It was on IG. It was Arnold Schwarzenegger says you can find the time. If you can get up this time in the morning, you can do this. You can set this. You can, it's all about timing. You only need 6 8 hours worth of sleep. But then you have this time here and this time there, and
yeah, and then
and
these
then and get to
people
the
a little bit
chopper.
faster.
Yeah. It's about you can find, like I said. I know ladies who. I interviewed one lady. She has 5 kids. She's a figure competitor. She has 5 kids.
Yeah,
And she finds the time to work out. She also trains. She works out. She was a service member. She was in the Air Force. She got out of that years ago. And it's about finding the time. If you want something bad enough, you can make the time for it. You can't use excuse as I have kids. Well, how old are your kids? You have family members that can help you out. You can the older
right.
ones like when we come up, my older sister, she used to watch me and take me to work with her sometimes. My mom and dad, they were sharecroppers. They worked in the fields. They sometimes didn't have a lot of time to watch us all as kids. And then
Hmm.
when I got to the point, I was watching my younger brother, my younger nephews and nieces. You know, there's a way. You just got to figure it out. And
Yeah,
it's
and a lot of times it's super hard. Like when I was going to the show and I'm doing 2 hours of stairs, I can't do 2 hours of stairs in one go. So I was having to get up very early in the morning. So I usually get up between like 4:30 and 5:30. And and like now I'm lucky enough that I have like a stairmaster and everything like in my building, so I can at least do my cardio at home. But I was walking to the gym, doing an hour of stairs, starting my work day, working, going, doing my training, working again, and then finishing my cardio. It's hard, and like I have to sleep. I also have to like eat and prepare all those things and everything like that. Like it takes so much organization and so much like you have to be on your shit at all times. And I think that's something that people don't realize. I think that it makes you like making it through stuff like that makes me feel so strong and so capable. Like I could do anything because you have to be able to multitask and get everything, like all your little tasks done and check all those boxes. So, and I did all of that like in the midst of planning a wedding too. So it was like throw anything at me and I could do it.
like this is from a quote from my favorite characters, Sylvester Stallone's Rocky Balboa. It's not matter how hard you can think you can hit. It's how hard you can take the hit and keep moving forward and keep
Yep.
pushing it because life will beat you down. You know,
Yeah.
and if you can take the hits and keep moving forward, you can win. That's how winning is done. It's like this. And also to quote one of my favorite movies is Batman Begins when Bruce Thomas Wayne says to Bruce, why do we fall? Because we learn to pick ourselves up. And that's the thing is you have to have that determination. You have to have that will. I know there's days where you get up in the morning and say you want to hug Peter and say, I don't want to go to the gym, Peter. I want to stay here with you. I know there's days where you're on the stairmaster. I don't want to go anymore. I'm tired. I'm done.
Or
My
I
legs
just
are,
can't. I'm like, my legs are going to break and I'm going to die.
yeah. Because I mean, I can tell you, especially my case, I worked out. I worked out to one of the less famous gyms as bodybuilders don't like as Planet Fitness. So,
Oh my God, we
and
went to Planet Fitness. It was hilarious. Like, we were like, are they going to pull the lunk alarm on us? Like, going through here. But everybody was so nice and I had the greatest time.
yeah,
It was amazing. But to your point, what I was going to say is like, everyone talks about genetics. Like, you have to have the genetics to build a body, right? But I don't think that just applies to your physique. You also have to have the like mental toughness to do this. It takes both things. It doesn't matter like, oh my, because you'll see somebody and you're like, oh my gosh, this person has all the potential in the world. They just have to do it. They just have to like buckle down, go to the gym. Like they could build this crazy physique. They don't have the genetics to do it if they're not doing the work. You have to be able to do it day after day. You have to be able to take those punches and get up and keep getting up every day after day after day after day. Like some people just have one or the other. You have to have both. So it's amazing to me seeing that like trifecta of the body, the brains, the mental, just like the mentality to keep going and the wherewithal to do it. So that's the thing that impresses me about all of the athletes in the sport is that they recognize that within themselves and will push as hard as they can within all of those arenas.
yeah, yeah. I know, lady. She was at a show. She was at the Teen Collegiate. Girl, lady, 80 years old, and she just got a pro card in women's bodybuilding. I mean, the age shouldn't be a matter either. Instead, again, we talk about the lady who was like almost 70 and doing bodybuilding. You just have to have the willpower. Sometimes, like I said, if the mind's not willing, the body's not going to go with it. You
Yeah.
have to have that will. Say, you know what? I'm determined to do this and do that. Me, I don't have that will sometimes. Like if it's like really raining, not real bad outside, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying home. I want to sit here. But when I do feel like I need to do it, I try to go in all in. Right now I'm having doing too much work so my car's in the shop. I gotta get that sucker out tomorrow. I mean, it's been there for about 3 or 4 months. See, I live out in the country. I live in the boonies. We don't have no mass transportation. You don't got a car. You got these two things below your knees. You
Yeah.
call feet. But yeah, I mean, you have to understand when you get into this stuff. I mean, I got a friend. He's an IFB pro. We do a live stream together, a podcast. We have one tomorrow. Where we're gonna, it's going to my 200 episode of my Muscle Talk Mondays. We'll shoot the shit tomorrow, and we talk about this how you can take all the stuff everybody else takes, but if you're not training and follow the same guidelines and the consistency, it's not going to help. And also, like this young generation want everything hot, fresh, and ready. Nothing. You have to work at it. Nothing's going to be handed to you. You know.
Yep. And you have to, like, if something's not working, you have to fine tune those things. Like, we're fine tuning my training and stuff like that. Because I quickly discovered that my legs will just blow up and get huge. But it's like they have to get big in the right areas. So, everything's going to take tweaking. I don't care if you're, Derek Lunsford like, he's still making improvements. He's still getting better. It's not just like, oh, he's the greatest bodybuilder in the world right now. He's done training. Like, he can take it easy. No, you got to keep going. Like to improve over the course of time, because if you don't keep doing that, somebody's going to come and snatch your crown.
Yeah, like one of my favorite person, especially I'm a fan of this lady. She is, I would say, all time greatest woman in the bodybuilding, next to people like Iris Kyle and Linda Murray, and that is Andrea Shaw.
Oh my
I
gosh,
love.
she has such a great smile too. Like, I feel like she's just, I love her.
I got this. A friend of mine got me this. I always like to show this off, and she was at the
Aw.
Olympia. It was at the last Olympia in Orlando, and she was there, and she had Andrea. I like to always show this off because this is why I do this. When somebody like her signs something like this, I have ladies have come friendly with to send me little Christmas cards and send me things and say thank you, George, and I appreciate. That's why I like doing this, because I want to give y'all ladies the opportunity to share your story for people that need you. You might inspire somebody. Sometimes you inspired me a bit because, like I said again, I was almost 500 pounds. And when I started doing skit and talking to these ladies, and some of these ladies who were like, all right, was overweight, who were dealing with stuff like your coach, you said she studied kinesiology. I was studying kinesiology, but my car broke down, so I couldn't finish my schooling. But
Yeah,
it's
my dog died like a couple of days before my wedding. It was hard, and I had to go and train, like, with tears. Like, just no matter what's going on, you keep doing it. You keep going.
Yeah, it's a damn shame to lose a dog. I mean, we grew up around dogs. We are country, but we don't. I think my sister Mary, she passed away about a few years ago. She had poodles. My mom didn't like dogs in the house, but she let them in because they were little dogs. She didn't mind it because. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's just it's sad. It's good that it's sad about the dog. I'm sorry, but it's good that you have the mentality to figure out. You know what? I want to do what I want to do, and I got to push through the hard stuff. I got to go
Yeah.
through my best, because you know what? If I don't do what I do, I'm not going to get to that next level, because you got to think about it. Your division is stacked. You're going to have to
Yeah.
go up against maybe so many women in one class, and then you have to get the opportunity to get to that next level. What what would you think would you need for yourself to hit to that next level in this sport?
They just said it's my glutes. Like, because my legs are so developed everywhere else, it almost makes my glutes look smaller than they are, or like they're not developed. But I have fairly big glutes. It's just that my leg size has grown so much over the past year that it's just that last piece that has to catch up. They were really happy with my posing, my presentation, like my glam and everything like that. They're like, you're very striking on stage. It's like hard not to look at you because you are such a huge presence, like you're in your height and everything like that. So I think after this off season, it's really like the final piece for me. I think it will really change the game, and I'm so excited for that. Because once I've like kind of unlocked a body part, and because I hadn't weight trained at all really until I started competing, and once I have that mind muscle connection to a certain area of my body, it just like blows up pretty pretty big. Um, so I think once I have that, then I can determine how I'll do next year. And I think after that point, I'm going to have to decide, like, am I content not training other body parts? Am I content having to back off a little bit because I don't want to outsize my class? Or do I want to make a jump? Or just train for me and blow my legs up as big as I can and be huge, because I could also do that. Yeah.
Yeah, you had the big legs like coming in the door like
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
tree
Because I'm
trunks
like,
to be like the
no, I
Hulk.
could train for my own proportions and just like, I haven't trained my arms all year round, like, and they're still so big. So it's like, we'll see,
Yeah.
but I miss like hammer curling the 40-pound dumbbells. Yeah.
Well, you
It's
were doing some
fun.
curls,
It's fun.
but you doing some curls, but those balls were lightweight balls. They were lightweight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Here we
yeah,
got
those 1 pound dumbbells.
yeah, we got comment from man. Okay, says, how far do you see yourself competing? So like I said, you've been doing it for a couple of years. So what do you think? Once you get your pro
Yeah.
card, or just till or what's the mindset of it?
What's the game plan? So I will probably get on stage again next spring. So spring 2025 is my goal for getting on stage. After that, depending on how I do, I never am like, pro card loading. Like I'm no like when it's because I don't know who's coming to the show. There might be some like 6'3" girl from Serbia that shows up and destroys me on stage or something like that. But after I hopefully eventually win my pro card, I would continue to compete at a professional level. I know some girls like they get their pro card and they just disappear all of a sudden, or I think it's that thing like I've worked so hard and I have to start at the bottom again. Like I like competing against the best of the best. I like continuing to get better and growing and stuff like that. So I'm excited to like my peers have been competing for like 6 years, 9 years, 10 years, and I had no idea. And I've been 2 years in. So what, 5 years from now, like I will look way different than I did when I first started. So I'm excited for all of that and that continued transformation. So it's just the work will continue for me.
Yeah, it is work. You have to work and grow and develop and like I said again, not just trust. I think we lost her. Oh, I say there you go. Not
Sorry,
just
Paul.
that's all right. Not just trust the process, but understand the process, and then putting that time into it and to grow it. And everybody wants to chase at the pro card, but sometimes not everybody's gonna be a
I'm gonna
pro.
re-
Hello, we gotta she's out for a minute, so we'll wait for her to come back. We see what's gonna happen, but you know, this is about sport. There she is. There she goes. This is about the sport. It's here we go.
I
And
apologize. My food alarm went off, and it's
that's all right. We're not going to hold you too much long because I know it's about the time to feed the machine. So
I know these legs they're waiting for me to get all that blood in there.
yeah. So like I said, we're not going to hold much too longer because I enjoy this conversation. Get to talk with some of you ladies,
Yeah.
and and like I said, I respect what you're doing. This is one thing I think people should do, and this is I tell guys, hey, if you're interested in maybe helping out, because even as amateur, your cost of your interest fee, also that sponsorship does help. So anybody out there who is interested in maybe sponsoring, you check some of her pictures, some great modeling pictures, tall drink of water like herself. She probably get a good gig. But guys, this is what we don't want. We're gonna say, hey there, Vicky. Yeah, I saw your pics. You're a tall drink of water. So if I do a favor for you, no. Stop that. Stop that.
Yes, I don't,
See?
and I also don't have an OnlyFans, and me and my husband don't have an OnlyFans because I think people sometimes want to see. They're like, "Oh, she's so tall and he's so short." I want to see what they're doing now.
Yeah, that thing is OnlyFans. I think a lot of competitors, because it's a way, especially to make money. Because if you don't have,
Yeah.
I know some ladies who have real mainstream jobs. That's how they make their money, and they also know how to budget. But yes, I know, as I call it, it's the one of the quite a few, because bodybuilding is a big fetish. It's the one of the beat the meat websites. Your husband probably get more calls from guys for like foot fetish stuff because hey, they like guys with muscles. Me, I know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I also do because my feet are huge. People are like, well, they're like, I'm like, how much are you gonna pay me to see my feet? Because
They will. I'm telling you, I've talked to some women. I've known, they will pay. I'm guys. Guys, this is true story. A friend of mine, my man keeps talking about Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler used to sell his shirts he used to work out in. And one time he sent one of his shirts to this guy who was buying them. The guy, he was so busy one day he forgot to wear it, so he put some spray some water on it. The guy smelled it and says, "That's not you." He sent it back. And Jay said every time he works out, he has to wear like two or three shirts because that's the way to make their money. Because it is bodybuilding. There is a big fetish for it.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you know what? I'm not shaming anybody's fetishes. Like, go for it. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
think everybody should do exactly what they want. Like, it feels like a victimless crime. Just don't be a
Yeah.
dirtbag.
Yeah, and the thing is, if OnlyFans is not something you want to do, that's your right. But like I said,
Yeah,
everybody's going to do their own thing, especially if you want to make money. Because like I said again,
for
this is like
sure.
the basic way to say it's like this sport. It's like that movie. I love movie quotes. It's from the movie The Incredibles when Bob's boss told him that it's your job to keep us in the black, and if you're mostly competing in the red, and you have to find ways to keep yourself going financially. You have a good job, you have a good life, and it helps that you're working from home because you can focus more on your prep and your training. And it's not hard for some. I know some ladies who are nurses. I know some ladies who are cops, police officers. Some still in the military and compete as bodybuilders. And the time you got to put in the sport and the
Yeah, but
sacrifices.
I'm working like 10 or 12 hours a day sometimes, and training and doing cardio. Like, it's a lot. So, and that commute time is precious. So the people that have to commute every day, they all get respect from me.
I don't have to worry about that anymore. I mean, I don't even have a car. I got to get out of the shop. So, so like this is what I would say like this. Anybody out there who is responsible, approach it like this. Mrs. Burmester, I would like to interest in sponsoring you. You have a great look to you. I like your personality. I saw you at Lollapalooza, and I think we could really work with you. And maybe we can help you as an athlete. Anything you need from us, anything we can take care of, is good. And also, you can be a brand ambassador. So if it worked for you, and you are a lawyer, you know how to do contracts, so we can set things up and make it very comfortable for you in your career as a bodybuilder.
I mean, I will take any good opportunity that is presented to me with no problem. Um, as long as it's, approached in a way that's respectful to me as a person, as a woman, as a professional, I will respect you right back. So I would be happy to take any opportunity like that on and take it seriously. And I'm very proud to represent this sport. I think that I'm a very good spokesperson for this sport because so many of like the fundamental things that we have to think about on a day-to-day basis are things that I live by every day. So um, I would jump at any of those opportunities for sure.
Sign the contract, baby.
Where do I sign? Give me a pen. Oh,
Sign the contract, big girl. Sign the
me.
contract. Yeah, I wish I could do that. I wish like one of the guys who I follow is Jake Wood. He runs the Wings of Strength. I would like to have his excuse me, I gotta say, it's I say his name, I gotta say, yo, Jake, yo, Jake. I want that money. I want that gun. Every time I say his name, I gotta do it. But yeah, I would love to see people give y'all ladies off because everybody's gonna go with the divisions as the men's open division because it's the bottom bitch in the sport. It's the guys that get more money, get more recognition. But you ladies, y'all should get more opportunities. Just saw the Texas Pro, the lady who won Women's Physique, she won 15K. 15K can do a lot for a person in their prep. Some shows is like $2,000 or $3,000. I think wellness, they get $4,000 to get promotion by like a company like Wolfpack. But
Yeah.
I think opportunities is there, but it's just you got to really look for them. People have to be willing to take that chance with somebody like yourself. So
Right, for
yeah,
sure. And
yeah.
yeah, and some people, and like they will squander opportunities. They will show up late. They won't. Like, you have to be careful of who you're extending those opportunities to because you don't want to be made to look a fool.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Foolish money is greatly departed.
right.
Yeah, so we're gonna appreciate the time that we have with Victoria. We like to thank her. I know she got to go do leg day. Oh my God,
I do. My husband is looking at me
ah,
like, "Are you ready to train legs? What's going on?"
nah, I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll be
We gotta.
crying. I'll be like crying. So anyway, before I let you go, you have anybody you want to shout out while we have you here?
Shout out just all the fans. Like, the fans have been really, really great. After the show, I've tried to respond to as many people as I can because they're like, "Those girls are so hot, oh my god!" Like, or just all the kind words. I really appreciate everybody because, like, if they didn't come to the show, if they weren't screaming, if they weren't excited about it, like, we wouldn't have been there. Um, and if you want to see more of us, just like make a big stink about it. I'm happy to be on stage There's planes going by. I don't know if you can see that,
That's
but
all right.
I'm happy to be on stage in a bikini at any time. So beyond that, I thank my husband for loving my bikini clad ass. My family, just everybody in Chicago, everybody all over the world that loves bodybuilding. You know, I love you too. So anybody
Well,
that watched this from start to finish, I really appreciate. So
well, yeah, because some guys are saying, "Yeah, we like to see her on the stage again." Well, that's. But yeah, I think yeah, I do. We do appreciate you, ladies. We respect, like I said, we respect you. I think this is a good opportunity for you and the other ladies and other people that were there. I mean, like I said again, bodybuilder don't get a lot of I would say good press or any kind of press. Is other than maybe once in a
yeah,
while I hear about a story about this or that, or somebody got busted for this or something like that. But it's good to see it's happened for you and Jerissa and also Phoenix. And there's opportunities. I think there'll be somebody say, you know what, they like your look. You might even, she's her, Rona's stuff is blowing up. She might bring you on maybe on a tour. If you can flex it within your time, that could work.
I mean, I would love that. I don't know what direction she's going to take her tour in, but another thing that I love about bodybuilding is like it lends itself to so many other things, right? Like, I'm used to being in front of a crowd. I can walk in a 4-inch heel all day long. We have a very strong like just relationship with our bodies and stuff like that, and in like angles and smiling, putting together a look, all of those things, and presenting our best self. So it's what we do every day. So I'm surprised that there's not more crossover more often, but whenever there's an opportunity to have that crossover, I welcome it.
Yeah,
So
the two people that really cross over bodybuilding to the mainstream is Arnold Schwarzenegger and Luke Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk
oh yeah,
and Terminator. And and it's the opportunity is so rare. Like there's people like Corey Everson, she did some acting. There was Rick Lesh. There was one. There's a documentary that really started bodybuilding was the Pumping Iron and Pumping Iron 2. But
yeah,
it's there. It's just that the mainstream, people need to open up that door and let
yeah.
y'all say, we want you to come in. We want to use you. We want to give y'all put you on stage. But the fact is, people are not so much ready for it, and
Yeah.
it's even like I know people talk about the fitness shaming thing about it. It's crazy. This it's
Right?
yeah.
That stuff is wild to me. And I've had situations like, not to keep your podcast, I don't know how much time you have, but I could talk
That's all
about this
right.
shit all day. I've had some women come up to me and be like, "You make me feel so bad about my body." And it hurt me so badly. I was just like, I don't want people to look at me. And what's so crazy is like people come up to me when I'm in something like this, which is something I honestly don't wear that often. Like I usually wear much less than this. But I don't want anyone to feel bad about their body because they see what I'm doing. I want them to be like, oh my gosh, what potential do I have if this girl can do this? I want it to be something that people are excited about, like improving themselves and stuff like that. Not living in a world where we're like upset because other people are trying to be the best they can be. So stuff like that's crazy to me.
Yeah. Here's the thing: is those people say that because they don't want to do what you do to get you there. They want the easy route. There's no such thing
And
as
it
an easy route.
magnifies the things that are lacking in their life, and that's not my point. But I'm like, I'm just because you are looking at yourself and looking in the mirror and thinking that I should be doing better, you're making me feel bad. That doesn't mean that I should feel bad about the things that I'm doing. And I've had that happen in friendships and relationships as well. Like people assume that I'm going to be like, why are you eating that? Like, don't you want to come train with? I don't eat all the Chick-fil-A, eat all the cake. I don't care. Like, I want you to be happy. Like, I love food too. Like, I can eat the entire house if I wanted to. It's just I live my life
I'm gonna
so
say
differently.
this. Come for a fat man. I hate people like you because you can eat a whole entire house.
No,
I eat. No. Hold up right there. You eat half a bread. I eat half a piece of bread. I get 10 pounds. You eat a whole entire house. You don't get. I got a nephew like you. He's skinny. He skipped. He takes after his father's side of the family, not my
what's so
sister.
funny though is people think that about me. I had to drop over 45 pounds for this show and for this prep. So I am not immune. I effed up my reverse diet for my last show last year, and I was up between 30 and 40 pounds within a month. Within 1 month. And I was like, oh my God, I've never gained this much weight this fast in my life. What am I going to do? But I was just like, let me push this weight. Let me keep training. Let me train as hard as I can to build. I've never put on more muscle in such a short period of time with that extra fat on me. So I'm not immune. I'm a good dog all year round. So that's the only reason why I look like this. I have the capacity to be like a great big fat person if left to my
Yes.
own devices.
It's too late. You can call me Fat Basta. I used to say this to my little nieces and nephews when they're babies, like Dr. Evil, keep your money. Let me eat your baby. So,
Yeah.
so we could, like I said, I do appreciate the time she gives us. So, folks, if you want to follow Victoria, social media stuff is in the description. Also, you
Yeah,
want
it's
to follow.
Victoria's Bikini. It's like Victoria's Secret. So
Yeah. Not Victoria's Secrets because there's no secrets here. But if
no.
you also you can go to YouTube and also put in the Lollapalooza. You can find that the concert and see her and Jarissa and the other people performing. If you want to check that out, I would say recommend do that because I've seen some stuff of it. It was pretty good. I wasn't into the music much because I'm kind of old fashioned. I grew up like in the 80s and the 90s. I grew up with like come in and go with me. Come and go in my place. I grew with like Jodeci and like that. These
Oh
newfangled
yeah.
music. I'm an old man. Sometimes I like to watch westerns in the mornings, and get up and out there, like that. But but I do appreciate you the time you got to sit and talk with me, and I wish you all the best with this new attention. I hope it's really gets you into another stratosphere. Especially, it brings a lot of good attention for bodybuilding. It needs it. It needs people like you and Jarissa and also Phoenix and also the other people that were there to give the sport to open the eyes of people that, hey, you know what, you might even, I don't know, somebody watching this, you might motivate somebody who like yourself who was going through some hard times, who might need something as an outlet. Because I know some of these who you hadn't about it before, either doing with abusive relationships, family member dying, being overweight or dealing with a disease. This sport it's a stream sport, but I think sometimes it's also the lives that we lost through the sport is not as much as the lives that you have saved from it. And that's why I do this stuff and give your ladies a voice, get opportunities that people don't understand, and like I said again, as a content maker and a fan, I mean, I just really respect what y'all do.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate those words so
Well,
much.
to quote my favorite movie again, when it's at the end of Batman Begins, when Jim Gordon says to Batman, "I never got to say thank you," and he turns around and says, "You never have to."
Oh.
I love that. KL hates it, but I love it. So, folks, we do appreciate Victoria's time, and I think she has to go do leg day today. Oh my God! So,
Me too. I gotta get this pre-workout meal in and these legs
yeah,
broken. So
they broke the legs. Be like, like in the Karate Kid, when we had to break his leg, or sweep the leg, But yeah, but you know,
no
but
mercy.
no mercy, no mercy. You train here saying like no mercy. So, but I like thank man KL for coming through here. Everybody who watched this video, share, comment, subscribe, follow us on social media, follow her, support her, watch her. With the concert with Chappelle, and check it out. That does need attention. Maybe get a lot of views, and also maybe she'll bring you on for a concert. So, anyway, I thank you again, ma'am. I really appreciate you for your time.
All right. You're welcome. I love everybody.
Yeah. And guys, like I said again, guys, if you want to follow again, just mention the links. Here's my rules, guys. I keep telling you sick freaks out there, no D pics. Stop it. She has her husband, even though he might be a short dude, he's a powerful dude. I don't want to hear somebody say, "Hey, yo, George, that chicken interview a while back? Yeah. Somebody, her husband knocked some guy's head over." I said, "Oh my God, I told him not to send that shit. I told him not to do that shit. Stop it."
He
So
is a
get some help.
peaceful man, but he will defend my honor.
I can say I'd be a peaceful man, and you're his woman. You're supposed to defend his woman's honor. I'm
Yep.
from the South. As a gentleman, we're supposed to protect our woman. And my mom
Yep.
was my woman. I loved her. And I miss her. And she really was the one that really got me to do this because you know what? Doing her stuff and taking care of her stuff, it really helped me with my stuff. And I really miss her and I appreciate it. And we know how we are. Our mother's our first woman we ever loved. And if she's gone, no one can really replace her.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I love that shit. Anyway, folks, we'd like to thank Victoria for coming through. We'd like to appreciate my man KL. Anybody who watch this video, share, comment, subscribe, follow us on social media, support her, and watch the concert. Check it out. You might like it. And we should be on our church page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Like, don't subscribe. I am out. Have a good afternoon, good evening, and a good night.